Nerdiest experience? This is going to be one of those videos that's hard to keep under 5 minutes. Hi everybody, I finally got my intro to work, so yay. Thanks Mary for making them. I really like mine. I also really enjoyed everyone's pictures that they drew last week. It's very interesting. This week's theme is nerdy experiences. I have a couple that I want to talk about, but I'm going to start with my Nerd Fighter experience, because that was fairly nerdy. The second stop on the Paper Towns tour in 2008, I was at the one in Boston, and I went with my friend Katie, and on the way there, this has nothing to do with the story whatsoever, but on the way there, there was a man on a Segway dressed like Abe Lincoln. At that gathering, I was sitting 2 seats from Sarah the Yeti. There was one person between her and I, and that was awesome. So I've seen her in real life, and I got to talk to Hank, and I told him how I got kicked out of Barnes & Noble, which I'll talk about in a minute, because that's a fairly nerdy story. And John signed my Paper Towns, and it was an experience, and Julie Nunes was there, and there's lots of Hank singing, and he messed up the words, and then he swore. It was awesome. It's a very interesting experience, my first real Nerd Fighter experience, because I hadn't been a Nerd Fighter for very long at that time. The day previous to that Nerd Fighter gathering was the day Paper Towns came out. So I went to the Barnes & Noble in this area, and as John Green had requested, I was putting Nerd Fighter notes into his books. They didn't have Paper Towns yet, but they had his other 2 books, and I was sticking notes in Catherine's and looking for Last Step. And people were walking by, because the young adult section in that particular Barnes & Noble is like in the corner by the bathroom. So I was shoving notes in the books, and I had a pencil behind my ear, and an employee came and asked me what I was doing, and I said, "Oh, I'm just reading this book." And they were like, "We're pretty sure you're vandalizing books." And I was like, I'm not vandalizing them, I promise. But I had to I didn't want to explain what I was doing, because it's really weird. How do you explain the author of this book told me to put notes in it, and I hadn't been a Nerd Fighter for very long, and so it was weird, and I wasn't sure how many other people understood nerd fighting, so I got terrified, and I got kicked out of that particular Barnes & Noble for vandalizing books. As you guys know, I go back there fairly often. As long as they don't catch me vandalizing books again, I think I'll be good, but it's weird. It's a weird experience going back in there knowing that I'm not supposed to be there. I think my nerdiest experience of all, however, was last April or March, that area of time. This guy I know, because he's in the improv troupe that I'm a groupie for, was on Jeopardy, and I told everyone that I know, and there was 8 or 10 of us in a room watching Jeopardy. It was awesome. We were just, yeah, I was the only person in the room that knew who this person was. I was like, I totally know that guy. And they're like, okay, we believe you. And we just all sat in chairs and it wasn't even my dorm room, it was someone else's dorm room, watching Jeopardy. So that's probably the nerdiest thing I've ever done, was just that group of people, and all my friends, we all just kind of went and watched Jeopardy. Because this guy I know is on it. Yeah. I easily have hundreds of other stories of nerdy things that I've done in my life, but those are the 3 most recent really nerdy things that I've done, so I hope you enjoyed them. They were experiences. I look forward to hearing about all your nerdy experiences, and I will see you guys next week. And Laura, I will see you tomorrow. Best wishes.